There we go. Okay.
Oh.
All right. We did it. Hi everybody. I've been really really loud the past couple videos. I've turned myself down, and I've turned everybody, especially Fefner, up because she was really really quiet for the pilot logs that I bullied her into doing. Anyways, it's Lancer time, and it's an RP heavy session, which means nobody's going to watch the stream because you only show up for the combat sessions. And yes,
Hopefully not too loud though, because I can be very loud.
all of you fans only show up for the combat sessions, and I'm calling you out. The roleplay sessions are also good, you jerks. You should watch them. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this out. So only the people who actually watch the stream are going to get are going to get scolded, and the people who don't, who I'm actually scolding, don't hear the scolding at all. Maybe I'll keep this part in just for them. Listen here. The roleplay is just as good. It's just as good as the mech combat. Anyway, hello. It's Lancer. But it's time to start. So, we just finished that mission. You're done. You're free. Swava, saw you off, and she flew off in her ship, the Ike Soren, which is way better than the Aetolith, but we don't talk about it.
Really, it just depends on if you prefer class ships or FF.
It's true. It really
actually stands for, I don't know.
It's true. Both have their place. Why not? I am a bitch who doth enjoy both. Oh, by the way, it's Bi Visibility Day, and I'm bisexual. Anyway, it's game time. So, God. So, I guess...
Is there any wrap-up for the mission?
Yeah, any wrap-up before we begin role-playing?
Shrug.
I don't think so.
It's just the fucking dire wolf getting picked up so we can all get up.
Yeah. So you get back to the Flavor Town, and it's like just there's a bit of like default's a little tense. Again, things weren't going the best with her and her not girlfriend. So she's still in a bit of a bad mood. And when we last ended that session, she had sent Kovanen some stuff, and Kovanen had yelled at her because they had gotten in a fight previously, and Kovanen wasn't talking to her anymore. And then Kovanen saw that Default doesn't suck and tried to call her back, and Default didn't answer. And that's... Yeah, oh no, she didn't call her back. Kovanen freaked out because it would have been weird to call her back right afterwards. But as time has passed, Kovanen frets more and more and more, and finally gives in and calls Default back. But Default doesn't answer because Default thinks Kovanen's still mad and will just yell at her more. So that's where what Default is doing is Kovanen has now called her several times, and Default has not picked up. She must be really mad. Kovanen must be really mad. Default doesn't want to be yelled at.
So, observant, technically not biological big sister Sylvia has been watching this, among other things, and slowly losing her mind.
Yeah, Default is like sitting in her bed with like her headphones on, playing music really loud so she does not hear the comms ringing.
Yeah, Sylvia is straight up going to invade her bedroom.
No!
Hold on. Hey, Sylvia, you want me to do something? Want to see something cool?
Yeah?
Bryn kneels down outside Default's door where there's like a power outlet. He pulls out a little piece of wire and holds it in like a pair of Neo's pliers and puts it in the outlet and shorts it and blows the power for her entire room. Blows the breaker.
So Sylvia's just gonna look at him like, are you really?
So the
Hey,
like
default, can you hear us now?
she can in fact hear you now.
Are you really right now?
Because
And Sylvia's just like, fucking fine. Forces the door open.
what a helper. Because like maintaining communications between researchers on the Flavor Town was so important. The communications network of the Flavor Town is on a backup generator, so the phone is still ringing, but everything else is shut off.
Well, it's just they're a circuit breaker, so it's probably
Yeah.
just your room. Maybe
Yeah,
right next to it,
well,
not the
but
whole thing.
like the comms aren't shut off, but everything else are. Like the comms in Default's room aren't shut off, but
Well, that's
basically
all
like
wireless,
everything else is. So
But you got to plug in your stereo system.
yeah, the phone,
Yeah.
the quote unquote phone is still ringing, and Default is still not picking it up.
You know what? Bryn picks that up.
No!
This is Bryn's and Mary. What can I do for you?
Like you hear like like sputtering and stammering and panicking, like audible, and then Covenant hangs up, and Default throws a pillow at you and screams, "Get out!"
Must have been the wrong number.
Sylvia's just gonna like tap her on the shoulder and go like, I appreciate your help, Captain, but this is girl talk time. Go over there.
I understand, and he walks out.
And he like stands right outside the door with a cup to his
He
ear.
has to go outside the door, out of sight.
Sylvia's just gonna like stare backward and just, like, walk in. Like, so you look like you're having a day. I promise I did not ask Bryn to do that.
Sylvia, I'm having the best time ever.
No, yeah, well, that depends on what you mean by the best.
Default wasn't happy.
I have,
Default wasn't happy that the calls were coming and coming and coming, but now that they have stopped and are not coming, she's even less happy. But do continue role playing with her.
Sylvia's just gonna like tap her on the shoulder and go like, so, I'm sorry. I did a thing.
Okay.
And Sylvia is going to take out the little device she used to film Default doing the little, like, voluntary rescue op we did back before the mission and just show her that she took footage of that, including specifically the bits where Default is kind of prominently helping out.
Oh, yeah. Default, like, gapes, like, oh, though, yeah, I couldn't stream with my Mac, I just did, oh, like what you told me about not streaming it, but you showed, doesn't this still count as streaming it?
No, because only one other person beside us has seen it, and that's probably why she's been wanting to talk to you.
Oh. No. Default, like, blushes and, like, makes an agonized sound and, like, falls to the bed.
I really didn't
rolls
want
back and forth
to
as if she is in physical anguish. And makes...
I didn't want to have to tell you this, because, yeah, that's not how I would respond to, and so he's just tracking her as she walks back and forth with her eyes. Like,
pained gay noises!
For that.
No! No, it's bad, but it's bad again now because I let her call me a million times, and now she's mad again.
She'll be fine. You know what? Screw this. Sylvia's gonna pick up the phone and dial Covenant.
Okay, well, I guess we get to have that conversation now, Fefner. Default panics, but Covenant comes on, and she looks, I guess, from you to Default and has like this really stoic look on her face.
Sylvia just like raises her hand as the call comes up and goes, I'm going to go back to my quarters now. I think you two can take it from here.
Yeah.
And she does.
So I'll change these first two lines because I assumed that Default would be bullied into calling her, which technically is what it would be bullied into answering. But instead was bullied into calling her. So
Sylvia just bails to go find Bryn and get drunk.
So Covenant says, looks like visibly relieved, and her voice is even audibly relieved as she says, "Oh, you finally called back." And Default like squirms awkwardly and says, "Yeah, I needed some convincing, but..." And then Kovanen actually interrupts her, and there you go.
So did I.
And they look at each other, and they're both so happy to see each other, but only Default can actually show it. And she says, I decided well, you finally called first.
Yeah, I saw your stream where you announced you were picking up that Kobold license. That means you'll be in one any time now. I figured I should offer you my advice as someone who's piloted a mech not too dissimilar from a Kobold back in my heyday.
Default smiles. It's so weird to hear such sentiments from someone so close in age to me. And normally it's folks around Bryn's age who talk about their heydays.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she's like 18.
Yep!
What the fuck?
Yep!
War as hell.
Yeah? But never mind that. I had heard you were a guerrilla fighter, and that's what the Kobold was designed for. I'll gladly hear your advice. Kovanen nods.
That is all true, but how did you learn about the second parts?
And Default sits back on that conversation she had with Svava. Like, she thinks back on it in her mind. About how everything Svava told her. And she gives Kovanen a knowing look. Like, she shares a knowing look with Kovanen and says, "Mom hooked me up with the dossier, your dossier. You know how my parents can't refuse me my every desire." And there's this unspoken communication between the two of them. And Kovanen has to mask her surprise and excitement at that sudden covert conversation they've just had.
I miss my mother often. Maybe I'll visit the shrines after this call.
And now they're having a conversation within a conversation. Do you know what the name Kobold is referring to? Default says, introducing the common context. Kovanen tenses out of paranoia because she's worried that Default's enthusiasm may give them away. Sorry?
I do not.
They're named after a monster, devilish little pack fighters who menace adventurers and interlopers with traps and ambushes. Originally they were more rodent-like, but they were reimagined to be reptilian and distant dragonkin as the game system they were invented in updated over the years.
Well, keeping you and yours safe by any means necessary isn't relegated solely to fictional monsters, nor is it a game.
Default, meets eyes with her. I don't think they're monsters at all. They're actually quite cute. And she brings up some Kobold quick pictures very quickly on the overlay with a picture within a picture to match that true sentiment. And Kovanen takes a slight intake of breath as she gets it, and she's flustered, visibly flustered by the sentiment and compliment.
I don't think they would respond all that well to being called cute, but I won't deny they have some charm to them.
Yeah, I guess they do. Oh god, oh jeez, a girl is flirting with me. She's struggling not to blush, and it's like a true test of her commitment to her act. So, about your advice...
Your usual way of doing things are not going to fly in a kobold. Kobolds aren't designed to be the center of attention, no matter how much is on them at any given point. So you have to be more sneaky, less overt and more covert.
Ah, I see. What a bother. Well, I guess I'll just have to think of how to make such a massive change to my usual methods, just as entertaining to my audience.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
And Default isn't offended by that dismissiveness anymore because she knows that, at least in this case, that's not real. So hit and run then.
Yes, you won't be wailing on them for massive damage. You'll be chipping away at them like a swarm of biting insects. Battle isn't just waged in the flesh, Default. It's waged in the mind as well. Morale can make or break any encounter. Morale wins wars.
Default smiles like a really, really warm smile. She's beaming. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for the advice. Kova, is it okay if I contact you in the future and discuss things completely unrelated to battling?
Things completely unrelated to battling? As if such things exist. Everything is a conflict, Defaults.
Wait, she's being real. This is real. Default, visibly flinches and it intenses. There's this... Sorry, go ahead.
But you know I cannot stop you, so you may contact me about whatever you wish, and I am required to give you all the time I can.
So Kovan is like, yeah, you can keep talking to me, right? Yes, there is conflict in basically everything, but that doesn't mean it's a battle. Kovan and we do not have to fight. We may disagree, but we can get along and we can be together. There are all kinds of stories out there, Kova. Not every story is a war story. Kovan and I am different, please.
An interesting perspective.
This statement is like, are you though? And Kovanen's visibly holding back. Like, there's more she wants to say, but she can't find a way to say it. And whatever it is, Default badly wants to hear it, and it's shredding at her to, like, have to play this way with Kovanen.
Enjoy your stories, Default, but there's a reality out there. One real people live and die in every moment of the day. Escapism is not escapism if you don't even know what you're escaping from.
I'm not unaware of the realities we all live in. I'm working to change it. I want it better for everyone.
You're still so naive.
At that, Default flinches because she means that. This isn't like, it's like talking under talking anymore. That Kovanen just sees Default's hope like as some childish naivety.
I'll be on my way. Kovanen signing off.
And then she just does, and Default slumps back in her chair, and that conversation went so much better. They really spoke to each other, and it actually technically went well, but it hurt just as much as all the other bad exchanges they've had in the past. And Default just puts her head in her hands and is like, ah. There you go.
Alright, so
that's so I guess I'll do my downtime action after this, but everybody else is free to roleplay now. Thank you.
Alright, so I don't know if I want to do my downtime yet. I do have a roleplay scene, but if anybody else wants to go, so, you know.
I would
I'm
like
not-
to go. So as Sylvia walks into the hangar where the mechs are, Bryn is he has a drink, and he is currently taking apart his Tokugawa frame and putting it in the 3D printer to disassemble it to remake his older mech that he was using before.
That's probably a wise decision.
I mean, it's already beat to shit. I'm not gonna fix this. It's just, I think maybe my threshold for the amount of risk I'm going to take in the battlefield, I may have bypassed it during the last mission.
That's probably correct. And Sylvia's just kind of like watch approvingly.
He tosses you a beer.
Sylvia like accepts it, but she sets it down. She's like, I actually just realized I'm probably not in a good place to get drunk today. There's a chance that I'm having some medical procedures done.
One beer is not getting drunk, but I understand. Anyway, you know how close you came to blowing up? Extremely. Probably close to anyone else on our team has yet.
Yeah, I saw. And Sylvia's just kind of like,
But I took that hit like a
Excited.
champ, didn't I?
I love this.
like, friend?
Okay, maybe I've already drunk a little bit too much. It's
You
fine. It's
are-
fine. I'm not doing that again. It's
Don't run off like that ever again. You know why I picked the Blackbeard?
I figured they're just gonna catch me. It's gonna happen inevitably. So like, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it will, but I would rather spend most of my time doing what I can to keep you and the mission safe than worry about a job, no matter what it gains for what faction of Deliverance. Our jobs are our jobs, but you're our friend.
Alright.
I'm serious. If you run off again and try and play the hero, I will personally be the one to knock your mech over. At that point, you may as well have just volunteered to go with them, and at least you would have been able to be eligible for some part of the payout. I still think we shouldn't rule out that plan, by the way.
Bryn nods as he like heaves the whole arm into the 3D printer and hits the disassemblable.
Let me help with that, and Sylvia starts assisting. I'm sorry I couldn't hold them back more, Bryn.
No, it's fine. We all had some issues on that one. They were, if they had coordinated a little bit better, we probably would have been obliterated. But we got some good early hits on them.
Thank God for Lyra.
Yeah, right? She's
Sure.
terrifying.
I know, that's why I like her.
If only Default was here to hear this.
Default did pretty good as well.
If only Default was here to hear this!
Everyone did great. I missed a lot, but you know what? I'm compensating for that. This new design is gonna be super great. I think I finally figured out what I'm settling on here.
Bryn, and Sylvia hands him a little data sheet. I'm going to be in here a little later. I might be getting some medical stuff done today, but here's my plans for the suit that I'll be using for space missions going forward. Probably for on-the-ground skirmish engagements as well.
I'll get this sorted.
And so what she's handed you, Bryn, if you haven't already seen the upgrade I'm taking for the next level, is the specs for the Metal Mark.
Ooh, nice. Nice. You love to see it.
Yeah. It's loaded out more or less with identical weapons to what she had equipped on the Blackbeard, but instead of the lance, it now has a pair of shock knives. And she just kind of hands it over. She's like, I want you to sign off on this because you're getting targeted quite a bit in our missions. The Metal Mark will keep me from getting hit as easily and let me zoom around, do more damage, but it also means I'm going to have a harder time just showing up in front of enemies and distracting them.
I'll get this printed after I finish reprinting the Flagrant.
I'll take that as a yes then. And Sylvie just kind of salutes and she's like, thanks, Captain. I'm going to go take care of business. Wish me luck.
Yeah, let me know if you need help with that.
How's it going? Are you winning?
Sylvia's just like, she starts to step away and then she like steps back and like actually gives Bryn a hug.
Aww. That we don't do. That's better. That's the Hex Girls. We don't do fucking saluting here.
No, seriously. If you need me to track anything down for you, I got some time. So
Hug her back, you asshole.
He does.
There you go.
Yeah. She kind of like gives him like a thank you wave and walks off.
Isadora. After the scene. Sorry, I'll wait for the scene to end. Sorry.
Yeah, that's my contribution. The next thing I have to do is my downtime.
Bryn just heaves another part into the printer and hits the just unprint button.
I have a question for you. For you. How many Bionicles and Legos has Bryn printed out since he got the schematics from Default?
A reasonable amount. He is an adult after all. He likes himself to be an adult here, so he hasn't gone crazy with it. It's a couple of tasteful models. He didn't print out the account. He printed out the kits.
Yeah. So Isadora, Zoe basically lets you know that she got the results for those tests, but that conversation happens in a pilot log, folks. So I'll upload that after this. But they have that conversation whenever Isadora has the time to swing in. About the slime, basically that's the message that you get. The hail is, it's slime time, like with a nerd emoji.
Ow.
Incoming message. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. And you can just act as if you have that information now if you want. Like they had that conversation and you can act on that now or you can act on it later. But yeah.
Okay, so, she's given me a report about the slime, and I do have a new thing to give her, except now I also need to find a living version of the thing we fought earlier, because they're fucking weird. So I'm just gonna wait to give her this extra work.
She's sad. She doesn't know that you're keeping it from her, so she can't actually be sad. But in the AU, where she's a mind reader and knows that you're keeping science from her, she's sad.
And then in the AU, where she has meta knowledge, she's like, ah, shit, that conversation was recorded before that last deliverance session. Okay, well then.
Yeah.
Egg on my face.
Yep. So yeah, but she's all about the science. She's doing different. She's your NPC, but I got an idea of her character from what you wrote up. So she's doing different science. You know, even after she finishes the science, she moves on to new science.
Got a lot of science to do.
She actually, I'm deciding, like, she also read the apocalyptic logs of the Flavortown people, and she also decided to go ahead and at times work on their project to make food taste as good in space as it does on Earth, just for fun, because it sounds interesting. So she's doing that sometimes. She's doing that right now.
Alright, so, I still don't know what to do for downtime, but I do have, roleplay stuff to do to describe one part of my level up. If somebody wants to, come in and talk to Isadora.
Lyra.
Lyra actually should do that.
Lyra.
Lyra's the only one who hasn't talked so far.
Yeah, Lyra, go talk to Isadora. Lyra,
Okay.
Lyra, you got laid last session. How you feeling?
It's been a
Pretty
little while.
good, honestly.
He believes in a thing called love.
I don't know if that was love. I don't know if any bonds were forged, but anyway.
No, there was a Persona thing, like the little card flew up on the screen. You have forged a bond that cannot be broken.
Rank 1, you fucked.
It's reverse order socially.
Cinder just works. Cinder,
Rank 1, Albatross would die for you.
Cinder just works that way.
So where would Lyra find
Isadora is currently in her room.
I think she'll get a ping on like a comm ping that's just all caps, not all caps, but like a couple of spaces are missing. Are you currently doing thing? Not things, thing. Singular.
Yeah, I suppose it is just one thing.
Have important question.
Yo.
Okay. And then it's just okay. About 3 minutes later, so you hear a lot of banging on your door.
Isadora gets up and opens the door.
Isadora puts down the eroge game that she's playing, gets up. Sorry. It's your character. I need to stop doing this.
Lyra busts up in there, fascinated because she's never been in here before. Like seemingly have forgotten what she was actually.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen Isadora's room. Fafnir, describe Isadora's room.
So it is this weird mess of like order and chaos. You can see that she was clearly doing something with the computer recently because that area is a mess. There are just sticky notes everywhere. There's a trash can just full of like cracker sleeves of various sources. Just some Ritz, there's some fucking premiums, whatever, saltines rather.
Isadora is a fan of that charcuterie.
Are you aware that your wrappers are everywhere? Have you considered a trash bag? Like perhaps several of them, like put strategically around room.
Bryn just throws his trash in the printer and deconstructs it. Canonically.
Reduce,
Yeah, you
reuse,
can actually
recycle.
recycle print-
Yep.
plastic in this future. That's cool.
That room. That's a cool room. Does she have any posters up?
Yeah,
Yes,
she's got
does she have
posters.
posters?
But yeah,
What kind of posters?
like I have not thought of like what would be modern in this.
She's got
Is
a.
the one just like of a sexy lady on a mech?
Yeah. There's
Like-
definitely.
Like how those like those car posters,
It's
like
it's
calendars.
it's Lancer.
Well, it's a calendar. It has to be a calendar.
Yeah, it's of course.
Actually, you know what? It's flower pictures actually,
Oh, no.
and a lot of
Go.
a lot of actual flowers as well. Like
Mm.
there is an orderly part to the room. Like her shelves are very neatly done up. Everything's put back into place. Nothing's really creased.
There's a big framed portrait of Lancer version of Edelgard. You know, Edelgard with a mech, with an axe, and Edelgard also with an axe on the wall. Lancer
Looks
style.
to the left of the actual ass Edelgard poster I have.
That
yeah.
I'm calling you out.
So, while she's just like kind of wandering around, like going, ooh, making little noises at all the posters, like has, as far as you can tell, completely forgotten why she's here. She will do this unless you stop her.
Did you need something, Lyra?
After a moment, she's kind of looking like, oh yeah, I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get a ship that big?
What
It's
do you mean?
acquired through rate.
Yeah.
You have to rate it. Yes.
Oh,
Who did you steal it from?
Oh no, it's not my ship. You've at least seen the captain, right? Captain Trevor's. He's the salt and pepper guy, glasses.
Yes, he is the old one I have never talked to. He looks old, and also like bothering him might be troublesome. So I have not.
Oh no, he's actually quite friendly. The older dude, however, is not the guy you want to talk to. That's Lewis. He's the engineer. Technically, he made the ship, but Gareth is the captain of it. He basically just wrangled everyone up, and he takes pride in the ship, so I think even though it's more or less a result of Lewis's hard work, Gareth appreciates it more.
But where did you get it?
Ask her why it's named the Edelith.
Where did it come from?
I assume that Lewis and Gareth probably just found some stuff. I should note, of course, that Gareth does come from Cradle, back at Union, so ships that big are probably more commonplace there than they are out here in Overture.
She makes sort of this like disgusted face, like you say when you say cradle, and kind of just like, ugh. You mean to get big ship that can go anywhere you want? You have that's such a waste. Why would all of the good ships be in such a place that is so terribly static? What are they going to do with them? They already have their plug yourself into a dream machine forever. Why would they need a ship to do it? They could just do it wherever.
It's really not so static as you think. Though it's also not the only place where you can get such a ship, and there are more technically impressive ships out there in the universe. The Aetolith itself is a fairly good passenger vessel. I can't deny that its speed is good, efficient with fuel, so on and so forth. Pilot things that are probably too dry for just about anyone who's not me.
For some people
Right.
of the wrong political affiliation, the Aetolith is a problematic ship. But, you know... Sorry. I promised I'd stop.
See,
Make no promises, Jenner.
it's curious to me because when Bovistel Buchanan left the bureaucracy of Cradle behind, he did so because he felt as if the life had been stagnant, that nothing ever happened. But if they can make such ships, perhaps it has changed. Anyway, I ask because, well, it occurs to me that one day I may not wish to just sit on station and just be, what's it, a mercenary for hire. It is okay right now. I'm okay with it. It is fun. You shoot things, they explode. But one day I would like to do something else, maybe, you know? And I can do that if I can't go places. And also, maybe in the near immediate future, maybe if I need to leave very fast. If I have, a thing to do, or a thing to not do.
The voice of the GM booms in, didn't you just do something different? And then fades away. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay, I'm stopping now.
Well, if you're asking if you could ever have any sort of place here or somewhere else outside of Overture, typically this crew doesn't usually stick around in one place for so long. But we happen to have had a lot of jobs here in Overture, and it's been lucrative enough on everybody else's end of things, and, well, I seem to keep coming into jobs with Hex Girls, so we've had a bit more staying here than we normally do.
Bryn pays very well for transportation.
What is it worth? I am glad that you have been with them. It has been nice. It is nice to have someone who is competent and knows what they are doing, and is not Bryn.
Well, I wish I could say I was excelling as of late, but I think I've been a little too... selfish isn't the word, but the Moon River hasn't quite been performing as well as I'd hoped. At least, not in regards to the last mission. Mostly I've been wanting to fine-tune the speed of my mech, and that's been going rather well. When I wasn't with the rest of the group, I ran some extremely good tests on the surface of Motavia.
She looks like really, as soon as you say something about instantly laser focused. And she kind of cuts in with a, so you are thinking the problem is not up here, she like taps her temple, but, and she kind of like makes the motion of like, piloting the inside, but here. Correct. You think is there sort of, the mech is not quite with you?
Kind of the opposite. It moves well enough, but last mission, I floundered when it came to hacking enemy mechs.
It sounds as if what you really need is something that will focus you.
Perhaps. Normally I take pride in being able to focus on my surroundings, but piloting a ship is one thing. If all I needed to do was get to one end of the battlefield to the other, I could have done that with ease. The problem is, I just didn't have the know-how to hack efficiently. I've been running some tests here to, I don't know, just figure out something. I don't know what I'm missing is the problem.
Is there someone you could find who would know?
Default recommended a group, but they're very chatty.
They're currently posting like these memes that you can't even comprehend what these memes are about.
Her friends are very strange. I agree. I recall being spoken to by them, and it was very bewildering.
They're spamming lasagna cat like videos right now.
I just don't think the pipe strip was that good.
Damn it.
Oh my god. Completely broke my train of thought. It's just Garfield memes.
Fefner, sorry, you wanted.
Even the future Garfield cannot die.
I hope you're able to get whatever roleplay you wanted to have happen from this conversation out. I'm crossing my fingers for you.
Listen,
Okay.
In our actual reality, Garfield will outlive Jim Davis because it's like a corporation that makes it now, and he just kind of has like some basic input, but like he doesn't draw it, he doesn't write it, he just signs off on shit. So it'll like live for fucking ever. It'll be like Mickey Mouse.
Garfield will be the one to turn off the machine on Jim Davis when the time comes. He shall do it without remorse. So far gone is Jim Davis's creation. At the moment, I've basically been trying to set up a logic to work off of. I would say similar to what we faced off against, but
But you can't
how well I
necessarily
did against
know.
that, I think anything will do.
She's kind of racking her brain thinking about that. Because she's not the biggest tech person.
Well, Jeff, what if
What if-
Garfield is Jim Davis's phylactery? I'm sorry. please say you're having your scene. Let's take this to Discord chat while they roleplay.
I'm not getting into that. Please continue.
This. Well, so you're building something. It's kind of like a test dummy, right?
More or less, yes.
Would you need something to house it?
How's it? I
Well,
mean,
it occurs to me that even if you were able to be good at fighting it when you were just sitting down, that you would not be in doing so in battle. You would have the chaos of it all with you. What if you, when you have completed it, wouldn't it be better to have it housed in a mech?
I suppose further tests that might help out. Thanks to that new printer, then, I do have a very good source for potential.
What?
Sorry, I was hearing myself. I suppose with that printer, I would have a good supply of test dummies to work off of, but that's for combat phase. For the time being, I basically just need to learn the ins and outs of what I'm supposed to be doing a little more efficiently.
I do not understand what it means with all the hacking and such, but I understand the desire to be better at it. If you ever need something to test it, the direwolf is yours, and if you need something to pilot it, I will also be. It occurs to me that even though you do missions with us, you haven't necessarily done a lot of training exercises with. I also, besides, I had to ask you, one that acquires and/or steals large vessels, did want to let you know that we do have a simulator now, a real one, not a sort of whatever it is that default has, but a real one. I even put the inside to be like I even made an actual cockpit. So, if you ever feel the need that to not be, like they say, rusty,
That's an interesting proposition. I might actually go in there then. Thank you.
After a little bit, she will kind of leave, but not before secretly kind of asking to make sure that you don't know how one might, steal one of these in case one needs to not be here, or not be at a thing, or to be at a thing. I don't know, maybe both.
Isadora could probably hotwire a ship, but she won't mention that.
She will let drop just a little bit about say for instance, if you did not want to be at a family reunion, that's something harmless and is definitely not illegal.
All right, well, I don't know how to read into that one, and yet I do.
I see you understand, and by I mean understand, I mean hopefully understand. I need to go now. Bye. Just like Bales.
Isadora just cocks her head, grabs a package of crackers. However, when she turns around, something has actually been typed on the screen, and it just reads insufficient with a question mark.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And Isadora types another question mark, and then the computer types on its own, do I need a vessel? So we'll get to more of that later, I guess.
Ooh, that's interesting. I like that.
Nice. All right, so Sylvia, what are you up to?
Sylvia is actually going to more or less. It's time to cash in and see if I can do the thing that she's been trying to do for the last 2 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is it
remember
finally time for an actual roll?
It's time
Is it
for
time?
it's it's role play and role play, Jeff. Gosh.
I don't know if I have to actually roll for this because this is technically another power at a cost.
Oh, well, that's fine. Just
Yeah, that's
mechanics.
the thing you've been setting up.
Sylvia is going to try and basically, for her downtime action, she is basically faxed in her. I'm cashing in the resource. So I'm cashing in the resource of her medical record.
Okay.
Sending that off to the doctor. Doctor. Oh, I've forgotten her name on the idolith. And basically asking her.
Maria.
Dr. Maria, and basically going, is this enough to get this hardware out of me, or at least most of it?
Okay, so, first off, what were the things I chose for power at a cost?
So, power at a cost were you need to gather more information to proceed safely and more resources.
Alright, so
For computations.
definitely have resources.
And technically more information because of the. I was assuming that was referring to medical records, but I guess that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the other way around then. So.
Yeah. So what are the resources Sylvia needs to complete this?
Alright, so, I think, you are called into, Maria's office, where she says, alright, good to see you, Sylvia. So, thanks to your medical records, and she brings out a bottle and places it in front of you. So, I'll still need a bit more time before I'm able to do any long-term surgery. However, thanks to your medical records, I've found this formula. This formula on its own should be enough to... it should be enough for all of the current ailments you have. Obviously, it's probably not quite as much of a solution as you'd like yet, but I've bumped you down to 1 pill.
Better than nothing. What do you need in order to finish the surgery?
Well, we've got your medical records, so at the moment, Zoe and I are both going over those to try and understand the jack that was placed in your body.
Would you need more information from the same well?
Uh, if they have more detailed scans of the
I'll be
mechanism
back.
or blueprint.
Sylvia just turns around and leaves. Yeah, I'm gonna roll gather information to try and get those for the downtime action.
All right. Good old gather information. It's never gone wrong at all.
Oh boy, how many felonies am I going to have to
Like,
do
how
to
many people
get
have you
this?
murdered at this point?
Technically only the one.
Just one guy.
So
Just
far.
one guy. I have technically implicated some dude back on Blair, but that was a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's fine.
Alright, so gather information. What skill triggers should I add to this roll?
What do you got?
So let's see. I've still got read a situation. Amusingly, Sylvia now has take someone out.
Nice. I like it.
If you know where to go and who to take out, I guess you could use that.
I mean, very technically, she knows exactly where to go, though who to take out is another question.
Well,
Um,
Covenant did give you that list. You could still use that. She did find all the people.
God,
Oh yeah, you got a resource, don't ya?
You know what? So here's the thing. I don't think I can take someone out. I can't justify that here. Because Sylvia does not necessarily know she's going to need to take someone out until she gets there.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
What she is going to try and do is take control of something, which is sad because that's one of my worst skill triggers. She is going to basically fly down to... Actually, like, here's the question. Do we want to do... Is there a more appropriate role for flying down to one of the people on this list and basically going, give me your goddamn blueprints or get fucked? That would be a better role than gather information.
No, let me check real quick.
Because I don't think that actually sounds right now that I say that.
Focus, get connected, get organized.
Would scrounge and barter work?
It's not normally let me check what the things are. Okay, so Scrounge and Barter basically seems like this is another sort of long-term project sort of thing. The 9 or less list on this is it was stolen probably from someone who's looking for it. It's degraded, old, filthy, or malfunctioning. Someone else has it right now and won't give it up without forcing or convincing. On 10 to 19, you get what you want, but choose the price you need to pay. Time, dignity, reputation, health, comfort, and wellness. So I think this could be used for this situation, because that all sounds like things that could happen. So if you're willing to say, if you fuck up, then this will be a longer project, then yeah, I think this is what we want.
Yeah, there's a non-zero chance that he's going to have to spill over into next session as well, so... Given that we had 2 complications, and I just kind of forgot about the second one, I feel like this is appropriate. Because, like, the gather information table doesn't really make sense in this narratively. On this one, that said, given this one... oh, man. Yeah, I think take control of is still the appropriate role. There's a part of me that wants to roll take someone out, but like, I don't think my character is that much of a stone cold murderer.
Hey,
Yeah.
might be later, you never know.
Alright, so here we go. Pray for me here. Roll high, roll high, roll high, roll high.
Good luck.
Bam.
7.
Oh.
Okay, so you got a couple of options.
I hate it.
You do have a resource from Kovanen.
Yeah, you
use
could.
for advantage.
You could roll the 1d6 from Covenant's help that she gave you out
I
of the
think
kind.
And I think your background would probably also help here, so you
Yeah.
get 2 advantage. So 2
I
attempts
will.
to take that 7 to a 10 at least.
Here we go. So we'll try that. We'll just roll 2d6. We'll see which one's higher. Well,
The 6,
that's
there you go.
still
13. So, on a 10 to 19, you get what you want. So, the price you need to pay is time, dignity, reputation, or health, comfort, and wellness. I feel like the last one probably isn't going to apply just because you
Yeah.
can come back to the ship just fine. So,
Reputation seems like the one to pay here because Sylvia is definitely. At this point, she might have gotten under the radar with the first murder, but now she's definitely showing up and threatening another person who is part of the same, admittedly smaller and less powerful organization. So this is going to look real bad to people.
yeah, so I think when you track the guy down, they're definitely on edge after that last murder. I think it's been like a couple weeks
Yeah,
more or
in
less.
game it's been at least a week, probably a bit more. In game, yeah, because we always like have time on missions that like it's kind of compressed into narrative time as well.
Yeah.
So I will note one thing. What Sylvia does is she shows up. Normally, she only carries melee weapons on her because that's what I decided I was doing with this character, and I never broke that.
Mhm.
She has brought a actual heavy signature weapon with her this time. It is a goddamn beam bazooka.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
you just come in.
notably does not unsheath it or like arm it while she's walking in, but she forces the door on this person's house, walks in, and just, if they're not there, she just waits for them until they get home.
Yeah, I think they are just there in the living room because I just want them to hear the door and go like, "Oh, what the fuck," and then see and be like, "Who the? Oh God, is that? Wait. Oh God, it's you."
Howdy, friend. Did you miss me?
Not in the slightest, no.
They should start running.
I have a proposition for you. You want to not be dead. I also would like to not be dead. Now, I have a problem here, and that is due to a series of fuck-ups on your part, I have several inches of metal sticking out of my spinal column that a bunch of good doctors are trying to help me take out. And once they're gone, I will be a problem for anyone. But right now, that's causing me a problem, and I have no choice but to let that problem roll downhill. I'm sure you understand.
How the hell am I supposed to know that you're not going to be a problem after this? How'd
Well-
you find me?
Oh, you don't have to worry about that, but how do I put this? You say after, like, there's going to be an after this if you don't start helping. Do you remember Kent from accounting?
Yeah,
Have you checked the old
died.
lately?
fucking died. You're saying you're the one who did that?
I'm not saying I'm not.
God fucking damn it. What do you want?
I need the blueprints for the Neurojack.
Shits need to know basis.
And I really, really need to know.
And you need me to know as well.
And Sylvie just like starts making faces. Oh shit. Oh shit.
What?
Oh, it
What is
really
it?
hurt. Oh my. And she pulls down the gun. I've been deployed behind her back this whole time.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Could you help me out here? Just like, I'm gonna just hold this on my shoulder for a bit, and can you go get those for me? I'm sorry, I don't want to.
Look, this is gonna fucking take me some time, alright? I can't just... God, look, you're the one goddamn bazooka here now, so I get it. I get what you're saying. I get what you're putting down. I just... They're gonna fucking kill me if I do this wrong. If I just give away information like this, so...
Look, I'll tell you what. You know what I look like. You know where I've been. You want to send 6 or 7 corporate hitmen after me later for this? I've already accepted that's something that's going to probably happen. But I also think that you should consider the possibility of, well, if I'm okay with that happening, I'm crazy enough to want to tangle with God knows how many people coming after me for the rest of my life. How patient do you think I'm really going to be in this situation?
Alright, fuck it. Fucking psychopath bazooka, alright. Follow me. Make sure I don't do anything you don't like.
I'm sure you won't.
This would be so much easier from the corporate computers, but whatever. I get it. It's not gonna happen. I can do it remotely.
That's what I thought.
Alright, and I guess that's just gonna be the scene, because you're just gonna follow him, make sure he doesn't call fucking security on your ass in the middle of this.
And then there is one other thing that happens.
Alright.
After we finish off, Sylvia just goes, "Thank you for your help, and I want you to know I'm genuinely sorry about this." And she just clubs him over the head. This is gonna knock him out. So you won't call goddamn law enforcement on her until she's off world.
I got something. So
Yeah.
when Sylvia gets back, and she comes in the docking bay, like all the lights are off, and as she like sneaks in, Bryn turns the lights on. He's just sitting there with a drink, looking at her, and he's like, "Did you print a rocket launcher with the pirate printer that we
Beam rifle, actually.
beam?" Do you want to tell me why you did that?
I had to see a man about a blueprint.
Is the man still a man?
Barely.
Technically.
I would argue he wasn't a man to begin with.
Nice.
It's valid. Okay. I guess either keep it or just put it back in the printer. You know, it's up to you. But
I think I'll be bringing it along with us for future missions where we need firepower.
sure, just be careful, because like running around like this, it's bound to get some people taking notice of you.
Thanks, Bryn. They probably already have, to be honest.
So,
But I'd rather die myself than with 2,000 million whatever it is. I don't even know what the shit in my back's worth, but I'd rather have that outside me and be my own body than be carrying around someone else's metal for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
once they get that off, you will like yeet that in space or something.
Oh, I'm sure they're gonna try and ambush me. Why do you think I took the metal mark?
All right, I know what my downtime action is then.
All right, what do you got?
Well,
Bryn.
first, hey,
Oh,
you know
go
what you
ahead.
gotta do.
Yeah,
you
what's up?
got a company to run.
Oh, that's right. I do have a comedy run. I've done literally nothing with it.
You have
I'm
no
on roll.
you have no help from anybody this time. Default hasn't done anything.
That's
All right,
fine.
so yeah.
I got an F20.
Nice.
Critted.
Dang, nice.
That means
So,
I get +2 to one, right?
+2 to efficiency and influence.
Both. Ooh.
Yep.
Nice.
20 plus is real good.
Let me do that right now. Let's see. Wow.
Man, this website's getting all the hits.
Yes, we're so popular. Okay. What I'm going to do, because Bryn, he's a little bit of a dingus, but he does care about everyone in his group here. So I am going to use Get Connected, and Bryn is going to call on basically any contact he has back in from his military life, and try to reduce the heat from these recent, I guess, assaults and murders that Sylvia has done.
Sounds like you're buying some time.
I think I'm going to use Get Connected. I'm especially calling on favors here.
Okay.
I guess I could do that. Let me look at this one.
Yeah, buy some time is basically,
Yeah, I guess that will be fine. Okay, so I am going to do that. I think that my my military background will apply here.
Yep,
Because
absolutely.
I am especially going to those ones. Do I get to use a skill trigger as well?
Yeah, I'm sure you have one of them, like, fucking...
Oh yeah, I'm use pull rank. Because I'm going after I'm going after people who like used to be my subordinates, who like ostensibly respected me back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So at a D6 for accuracy. And ooh,
Nice.
1G.
I-
Okay,
I really appreciate this roll because I was gonna
I
do
rolled an
something.
11, but that's
Yeah.
6. Oh, that's pulling some weight.
Yeah, I was.
so
I'm
buy
so
some
happy.
time is- On 20 plus, you buy as much time as you need until the next downtime session. Next time you get this result for the same situation, treat it as 10 to 19. So I guess I don't need to plan a certain part of the next encounter anymore. Thank you.
Yes, I do not tell Sylvia I did this. Whatsoever.
So what are the general results? Like what happens?
So I want to say that since the majority of that was because of that both my trigger and that actually die from my background, that I have to basically burn like all the goodwill I have with anyone who used to be a subordinate to me, anyone who used to work with me. They all like, it's like a lot of legwork and like several people, but I managed to like get around like some police records get lost, some like pending investigations get like hamstringed a little bit, just a bunch of like little like impediments to like the regular like execution of the law in our area that just like all add up to make this thing just like take so much longer than it should.
Nice. Do you have anything in response to Spefner? Because I have something in response to this, but if you have anything in response to this, go first.
Yeah, I would say, like, it's rare to see, like, people you would know in Overture, but, like, connections lead to connections lead to connections.
Yeah.
Like, the reason they can't just, like, completely bury this is because they're very far removed, but they can actually do a fair bit to help out.
Yeah.
So,
At least until next downtime, Sylvia
Yeah.
continues to get away without consequences. Bryn, you get an email, a message, like about a couple hours after you get the confirmation that this has been done, and basically these people, Bill from Last of Us, who says, "I owe you nothing now." It's basically the message
basically.
you get from all of them, right?
Like Bryn, honestly, he never intended to go back to other stuff, so burning other stuff kind of isn't a huge deal to him anymore, but he's glad that he had the ability to do this.
Right, so you get emails from everybody you called in that final favor from that just basically say, "We are now even, I owe you nothing, don't talk to me or myself again," right? But you also get an email from rulesrat at spacemail.gay,
Oh, goddammit.
and it just says, "Thank you," with a little rat emoji.
What?
Is-
Brenda,
And it is signed. It's signed Svava. It's a signature.
Bryn doesn't quite get it because he hasn't watched any of the dialogues,
Mhm.
but he just like files it away, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, because otherwise Kovanen was gonna get in trouble because she gave Sylvia all the leads, and that was gonna lead to Kovanen being implicated in giving Sylvia all the leads. And Deliverance has a really close relationship with the corporations, especially Marcus Steele. So you covering this up and buying some time gives Spava and the Wooloos more time to make this look like anybody else.
Well, that's not what I intended whatsoever, but
Yeah,
cool.
but yeah.
Good information.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else for that specific scene, or can I do a thing?
It's your turn.
Okay, this isn't actually my downtime action. As you finish that up, you get a knock on the door.
That's Bryn.
Yeah, Bryn gets knocked.
Oh,
Bryn.
hello. What's yes.
Isadora holds up her laptop and says, Coriander, say hello. And the word hello appears on the screen.
Oh,
Bryn?
is that your AI you've been working on?
It wasn't supposed to be like an AI, but now it is an AI.
I just assumed because like that's your thing, but oh, really? Okay. Hello.
This is Coriander. I've accidentally created an NHP.
Oh, well.
thought you should know.
Oh,
Don't let anyone that's not us know about that. I guess.
I
Do whatever.
accidentally in an HP, says Isadora, and Bryn's just like, this is fine.
It's fine, whatever. Just like don't let any of the corps know, because they will come for you immediately and take that.
All right, yeah, just
Or the military, them too.
I felt
Or
you
any
now.
local governments, or the police. And he just like there's like a 5-minute long list of like all these different things that were like don't let anyone know
Like
about
doing the drone of Ben Stiller and Ferris Bueller,
this.
or the police, or the
Yeah, I was just trying
supernatural.
to make a logic loop that I could hack against, but yeah, I'm going to the mech hangar and I'm going to do more of this. I think.
I'll come with you. Hello, Coriander. You're not illegal. Don't let anyone tell you are.
When you enter the mech hangar, Default is there, working on her mech. She's left her room and she's finally out doing things. But she notices you're there, like she notices you enter and gets like the, oh, this is like a secret thing. She'll say that aloud, oh. And like just drop down from her rye and like skulk away. But she does like look at Isadora and Brandon and be like, I'd like to talk to both of you when we have time. And then she'll just
We got
skulk
time
out.
right now.
Oh, well, no,
Bye.
your conversation, whatever she gestures between the two of you, is whatever's about to happen here is probably more important than what's going on with me.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but we'll talk later.
Yeah, if you want to talk together, we can. Just let me know, just hail me. You know where to find me. I'll be in my gamer space. And she like skulks out so you two can have this scene.
She needs to chill a little bit.
I don't think I have context for most of that.
I wouldn't worry about it. I don't.
So yeah, Isadora's gonna plug her laptop into the V3 printer and just start working.
Well, we already got the mech printed. You want you to put in that mech that we printed, or we can check out the gun just in case? But like, I think it'll be fine.
Thing. And she's going to print out one of the Kugas. All right, Coriander, can you move? And the mech's just gonna start stretching. Very basic robotic stretches, but stretches nonetheless.
And Metaton's theme starts to play.
All right. Well, I guess you're part of the crew now, so we'll add you to the chore wheel.
Yeah, I love it. Yes.
just see like a list of chores start processing with check marks and crosses depending on whether or not an NHP can actually do the chore.
I have to do a little bit of thinking on that to make sure you don't get assigned anything you can't do. Or we will assign those things to you and they can learn.
Welcome to the real world.
So yes, all of that is to say that the talent I took from my level up was Technophile, which is I developed a custom NHP. It can speak to you and has a personality, but they're less advanced than most NHPs and are incapable of independent thought, relying on you for direction. Normally, NHPs sort of just like pilot your mech on autopilots, allowing you to do other things while it's piloting. So in case you want to do anything either within your mech or out of it while the mech does some fighting, you can leave it with very basic instructions. However, we've basically decided, hey, this can throw in an extra NPC, so now we've got one of those Kugas from the previous mission, but it's on our
Or
side.
we can just cram it in your mech sometimes.
Mhm.
That's cool
That's
too.
also a thing we can do.
Nice.
Nice.
That is normally the thing you do, in
Mhm.
fact. So yeah, there's my
Bryn
AI
throws a
son
Kuga
coriander.
like a ball and watches it catch it. He's like, yeah. Like a
So
ring
yeah,
or
there's the
something.
servant class NHP. So, still trying to figure out my downtime activities. So hey, anybody else want to do a thing?
I guess. Does anybody want to go before me?
It's been a while since
Lyra, do you want
Lyra
to? Yeah,
did
Lyra, do
that.
you want to do a thing?
Yes, actually.
Go ahead.
Not long after she talks to Isadora, Lyra spends the next few days kind of anxiously pacing. She is going to do two things. The first is she's going to attempt to power at a cost.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Well, by
she's
attempt, you
look-
mean succeed because it happens.
Wait, what?
I mean, by attempt, you mean it succeeds because it just happened. You just get always get complicated.
Yeah, you always get it. You don't have to roll for power at a cost, but you just
Oh, okay.
get a complication.
What she wants is a backup plan in case she needs to skedaddle real fast. Basically, have somebody who's willing to come pick her up on short notice, even if it means out in space. Complication is
Less of the GM. You also do scrounge and barter because like that's like bartering for like
you think
a
that would work better?
service would also work.
either
Like,
That
s-
depends what you guys want.
Okay, you could do scrounge and barter, get connected, or power to cost. Power to cost is a long-term project, so that doesn't really sound like.
Okay, scrounge and barter then.
not necessarily. It doesn't have to be a long-term project, does it? It doesn't say so
Like,
in the description.
The thing about power to cost is there are, of course, the two complications I would choose, or one, I guess I could if I felt merciful, but I don't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think power card just for like I need this thing. I don't want to roll for it. I need it. So like I'm willing to just take something in
Okay.
exchange for it instead of having to roll.
So would scrounge and barter work for this?
Yeah, basically, scrounge and barter, like for Sylvia, is basically you try to get access to a thing, and depending on how you roll, you might get it no strings attached. You might get it, but like there's strings attached. And on a 9 or less, it's basically you can get what you want. However, it might not be immediate. Looking at the 9 or less options, it seems more like it's about possession, so I don't know if that would work.
Get connected with it probably be it.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
are
because
trying
it says
to
call
find
upon
person.
favors.
So yeah, I think especially since there are people on the crew who can help, or like the Adelith crew, Isadora did mention that they're a crew and they are used to moving around a lot, so you could talk to one of them. And basically, rolling well just means no strings attached. Not rolling as well, there are strings attached.
So here's the deal that she makes. She's going to attempt to negotiate. She may need help, and all they have to do is pick her up in a shuttle wherever she is, which will be in range of them, and then hightail it out of there, and she will owe them. That's going to be her pitch. I think get a hold of something or charm would be an effect here.
Probably charm in this case, so.
Okay. 14.
14. Alright, so 14 means on a 10 to 19, your contact will help you, but you've got to do a favor or make good on a promise afterwards. If you don't follow through, treat this result as a 9 or less next time you get it for the same organization. So, how to do this? Alright, so, first off, who would you talk to? Because Isadora mentioned that the Aetolith crews used to moving around. Would you go right for the captain, or would you find someone else on the crew who might be able to help out?
There is a fox girl, but I don't know if she'd be able to help you out. She's just a fox girl.
Yeah, she's a nurse. She's probably not ideal for this.
Do they have anybody who's like? Do they have anybody on board whose job it is to sort of be the one to? Does the Aetolith have like smaller shuttles that it uses for transport?
I'm sure it has something on that. Isadora's the pilot. However, the crew does have like an all-around soldier, Gillian Oak.
That's who she's talking to.
All right, so yeah, you pretty much find him having a drink, doing card tricks to himself.
Hello there, friend. Are you
Hey.
busy?
Oh, never. You one of the Hex girls?
Yes. I was wondering, your ship has shuttles, yes? Or a shuttle, or maybe some kind of space forklift, or something?
It has shuttles, yeah. Why do you ask?
Can you fly one?
Yeah, I'm a former soldier. I can pilot stuff. Nowadays, shuttles are pretty much the easiest thing I got.
I am willing to trade in favor for a thing that would not be terrible, but would be urgent, potentially, if it happened.
Urgent, huh? What do you got in mind?
All I would need is, if I called you, would be for you to drop by and then be picking Lyra up and then leaving, going somewhere else.
No destination in mind?
Eventually, somewhere that's not the destination which originated, but otherwise, whatever was convenient.
Easy enough.
I would be owing you, and also would be able to pay that in any way that would.
Yeah, what the hell. I've been bored recently. Can't really name a price off the top of my head, though, so... Yeah. Guess I'll wait to call on that favor of yours. Alright, guess I'll be, ready as I always am.
Wonderful to hear it. Now I will not have to. Now I will be okay if things go horribly wrong again next week. Thank you, and then she leaves very quickly.
Should find the space yakas there or something?
You love it when you ladies. Whomst among us has not encountered the space yakuza?
So I do have one other thing, which is Bryn receives a very strange email.
All right, more emails.
Yeah,
Bryn
Brent,
loves doing work.
enjoy
And, like,
being.
They're attacking
Isn't
twice.
isn't
The
it?
email is from the center of the email is something ridiculous like wolf at wolfing.awu, which is it is a long. It's an extremely boring document that makes you feel like your brain is coming out your ears, which is almost like it's somewhere between a like medieval style like decree of the king meets first year contract law, and I don't know. Does Bryn like just kind of skip through it, or would he actually read?
Bryn doesn't actually have that much work to do generally, so he would read it. Because, like, honestly, he's not that busy.
Okay, the person who wrote this email is going to be here next week, and they are the body of this email dictates a series of rules, and it is incredibly condescending as to one no idea what's going on. The various doctrines and rules under which a proper trial with a capital T is fought. There's lots of references to, of course, you wouldn't understand this being as you are a hedonistic barbarian. So they are doing you the kind favor of making sure that you are up to date. Insisting, of course, that you must read all of this, have it all memorized. They will be here in a week, and they would be happy to meet you before slaughtering you and all of your associates and destroying your base.
So this
Thank
is
you.
explicitly,
Have a lovely day.
explicitly a challenge to Bryn.
No, yes, actually, it is specifically addressed to Bryn as the commanding officer of the Profligate. It is like uppercase P, so apparently that is their name now, and because you're the commanding officer, it is your responsibility, and you're the one that they're covering.
Oh, Bryn hates responsibility. Oh, this is gonna be
As you did not answer their previous email, you of course can no longer back out of this. Be obviously to the death.
What? Wait.
They regret that you were unable to answer the bloodshed, but
Oh,
also
Bryn
respect your bravery.
Was there a previous email? Did you find one?
Okay, he will eventually find the spam that the quote unquote spam that he got a couple of sessions ago.
The wolf at wolf.wolf.
Oh,
Yeah,
God damn it.
which included in there among the boasting and also insults that if he was unwilling to fight a trial to the death, that this was his chance to negotiate terms, and that he would have to reply in the proper like manner within 48 hours that they're sending. Well, they don't actually say what the proper manner was.
I don't know if this is legally binding, but
Look
this
at this.
is gonna have to be a group meeting on this one.
Mm-hmm.
They do include a list of. They actually included a list of all the mechs they are bringing, and request that you send your list of mechs as well, so they can, of course, make everything perfectly even. As a formality of battle. You don't recognize any of their names of their mech types, and you've never heard of half of these systems.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this, Bryn, like, I think this takes like him a half an hour to like parse all this and find the old email and like realize what's going on. He's like, oh, and he's just like more and more like dour as this time goes on, because this is like the worst thing that can happen. Well, I mean, second worst. But he's like, oh shit. And he hits a button on his desk that's just like the meeting button. And there's like a siren that goes off, and everyone knows this is the go to the meeting room siren because it's important.
Ah, fuck.
Body.
But we'll do that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I will actually start with that next session, because spoiler alert, that is going to be what happens at the beginning of next session.
We still got half minutes downtime.
Mm-hmm.
And Jenna's downtime.
Yep.
All right, so I guess before we all do a meeting, I'm just gonna settle on get a damn drink.
Mhm.
This is gonna be a weird one because I'm trying to get good reputation with Gillian because I have a thing I want him to do to assist the group in case we ever need it, and like we're halfway there. But I want him to, you know, take more stuff. I want him to transport a lot of things. All right, so get a damn drink is basically just I drink and whatever happens while I'm drinking, that's my reserve. All right, so let's see. I'm probably going to go with stay cool on this one because Isidore is a very calm drinker. And I am a GM, but even though my pilot, or like my background is pilot, that doesn't normally apply.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy is on the crew I've been serving on, so is it cool if I add an advantage?
I mean, you're drinking with the crew, right?
Is this person you're drinking with, are they like an aficionado, or are they just like, I'm gonna get drunk?
It's Gillian, so he's just sort of twiddling his thumbs while drinking.
Yeah, but is he like a liquor guy? Is he just like, I guess I'll have a beer because like I need to wind down from work? Because Brent can give you advice about liquor.
You know, I think he's a little of both, you know? He's picked up knowledge, and then he
Alright.
just sort of does it, drinks casually with said knowledge.
I say if Bryn's gonna like help you out with beer knowledge, you can have that advantage. I'm the GM, and I can say that you get an advantage if Bryn gives you beer facts.
Yeah. Here's the good IPAs. Here's the crap ones. Don't get those. Even like it's not in the lane. They did still taste good. This is the one you want if you don't care about appearances, but you also want a good beer. But people think you're kind of a dorky with this one. But
Alright, so initial roll, that's 12, plus 6 isn't going to help because, you know, that's only a 13. Alright, so on a 10 to 19, you make let's get creative. There's get a damn drink. On a 10 to 19, gain 1 as reserves and lose 1. So, a good reputation, a friend or connection, a useful item or piece of information, or a convenient opportunity. Let's see. So, this is more of a personal conversation. So, what can I lose from this? I do have that other. It seems kind of cheap to just say, all right, I lose a different good reputation to gain a new good reputation.
What reputation are you losing in exchange for your different reputation?
It would have been like the good reputation on like Tealwing City in general, but yeah, I don't. Just because like she hasn't been there in a while, so you know, hype's probably died down. But I don't know if that's really a worthy thing in this situation.
All right, go ahead and make your roll.
I did make my roll.
Oh well,
That was-
then.
Yeah, that was the 13.
That's a 13. On a 13, you ruin. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it happens. I guess. Yeah, you trade that reputation, you get your new reputation, and you don't really get like what else are you getting out of this?
So basically, the main thing is I wanted to uncover my secret fucking social link up with Gillian Oak. Because after the first mission I did, I was like, I would like it if we could, you know, reliably change out mechs between missions.
Ah,
even if
sounds
we have
good.
to
Yep,
react.
yep. Thumbs up. It's so great that Gary Oak changed his name as he fled from his criminal life to become a good guy here on the Adalith. So, Gillian.
No, he wasn't a bad guy. He showed out and he married Ash.
Mm-hmm.
Love shit, or Red, I guess, because it was.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
So,
Then they go on a vacation to Hawaii together. It's nice.
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Canon. This is all of that's canon.
Mm-hmm. Gillian here, well, you know, formerly Gary, is more than happy to hook you up with swapping out mechs and stuff. He'll speed along the process. He's got the right people in the right places, and he knows you, Isadora. You're not that he heard things about you, but he's seen who you truly are. So all that stuff about you being a weird pilot and getting drunk all the time. I mean, sure, you're getting drunk all the time now too, but he sees the real you, and he'll do you a solid. I guess that's what you want, right?
Yep, we might do a proper conversation for this later.
Yeah, feel free to
Either
write
with
it
myself
up.
or with you,
Yeah,
Peter.
feel free to
But
write it
yeah,
up, and
The gist of it now is, hey, as a GM, gameplay bonus, when we're on a short rest, you can just ask him to fly down one of your other mechs so you can change out real quick. He can't actively use them because he's not licensed for them, and therefore not a good idea to use them in battle, but he can at least switch things out for you.
That's
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's it for me, so only one who has a downtime activity left is Default.
yep. Okay,
Can't wait.
hold on. Okay, so Default walked away from Bryn and Isadora and went back to her room and sat down and like knitted her fingers like in like thought, put in deep thought. And as she's sitting there in deep thought, she gets a call from Svava. And she picks it up immediately. And Svava says, "Hey kid, your boss, he's good. He did a good thing." And Svava's like, "Yeah," or Default's like, "Yeah, I know he did. I know he did. Svava, actually, it's good that you called me. I was thinking about calling you. Can you help me out again?" And Svava looks to the left and looks to the right and says, "All right, look, kid. I am not going to pretend I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm too old for this. This shit you're doing with her, you're not exactly going about it the right way. And it's still coming off as all ego and shit, alright? It's not gonna get through to her. It ain't her way, and it ain't exactly yours either, is it, kid? You gotta show her your true self, and you gotta be careful about it, kid. And I'll help you all I can, but Svava, stop. I get it. Can you get a message to her for me? And this as well." And she sends her some info. Svava looks down at what Default just sent her, encrypted, by the way, as best as she could, and reels. This is an archive. Yeah, it's an archive I've organized of all the old Earth info I found. All of it. Everything I got. It's the most comprehensive archive of the old Earth information available that ever, I think. What? How, kid? How did you? Don't worry about it. Just get it to her. And give her this message for me. Sure, kid, but there's no way she can go through this without them seeing her go through this. And Default's like, "I'll figure something out. Please, tell her. I'll prove it." You'll prove what, kid? "I'll prove I'm not doing it for my ego. Just tell her, okay?" All right, kid, I'll show her. I'll tell her. Good luck." And Default just signs off. And then, like, as that conversation ends, the klaxon turns on just as Default shuts it off. And she stands up and rushes into the conference room. And this will be my my move. On my level up, I got Invent or Create. And I'm going to be using Invent or Create for my downtime activity, and I'm trying to decide what this will be, and I'll need GM help for this.
There is literally get creative.
Yep, I'm thinking this is going to be a get creative role. Default needs to create a way for Kovanen to learn the things that Default needs Kovanen to learn, since she's been smeared with propaganda, without Deliverance seeing that she's getting into this archive and learning things and learning what Kovanen learns. And learning that
so
this shit
basically you're just
exists.
making a real good PowerPoint.
Yep. She's making like an encrypted way to look at shit without being. She's making an incognito tab. right? For Coven
I'm
and
behind some proxies.
yeah, behind like a billion proxies that lead to like a billion shit. Like it goes through like several thousand like foot fetish and furry porn blogs, so that maybe the person following this trail just gives up, right? And so I don't know what to call this project. I guess I'm going to call it Liberatus, right? Because it's all about getting Coven and anybody else in contact with like this data and create a way for them to talk to each other where they can talk a little bit more freely, right? But it's going to take a while. I'm going to call it Library, actually. Library of Space?
All right, roll the beautiful bean footage.
So this will be a inventor create, and Default doesn't know what she's doing, and Default can't use her background as a celebrity
Yeah,
because
this-
that will draw too much attention to it. So
This
instead,
is exactly the opposite of what you're used to.
instead I'm gonna wink knowingly at the camera, Fefner, with the information I've told you before privately. Default's gonna contact her, wink, Horace contact, wink, for help in setting this up. And her Horace contact takes a while to get back to her for in capital R reasons, but eventually gets back in contact with her. And I'm going to use that for her bonus as this Horace contact, who is definitely somebody who exists.
Oh, you actually have the, forgot you had Horace specifically as a contact.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Will help her with this roll. So this will be an inventor create roll, and we're going to be rolling 1d20 plus 2 because I've only upgraded that once, plus 1d6. Oh no. Well, at least I'll get over a 10, right? Default still doesn't know what she's doing. Okay, so that's a
So that's a
14.
overall. On a 10 to 19, you make progress on your project, but don't quite finish it.
Yep.
You can finish it during your next downtime without rolling, but choose 2 things you're going to need.
Mm-hmm.
Quality materials, specific knowledge or techniques, specialized tools, or a good workspace.
Mm-hmm. So I
2 of those 4 things.
Yeah, so I'll have to think about that, but I'm gonna guess she definitely needs specialized tools, right, in order to set up like a billion proxies. And I'll have to look at the rest of the list that you went up, but I'll pick one more thing from that
I
list
think
later.
Specific knowledge or techniques.
Yeah, specific
is
knowledge
like,
is also good, and getting it from her in air quotes Horace Tech doesn't give it to her now, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, good workspace and quality materials really doesn't fit that much.
Mhm.
Alright, so yeah, you will need those 2 things, which...
Right, it's on there. So that'll be her downtime. So we'll rush in. Let's have this scene. So Default rushes in breathlessly. She's excited. She's elated. She's gonna get through to Coven, and she's gonna do this, folks. She's gonna prove that she's not in it for her. And she drops down to the seat. She's in such better spirits. And now,
Yeah, buddy.
now give her bad news.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily bad news for you specifically. So, I got an email earlier. Hey, Lyra.
Hey, there's a lot.
Lyra's not there.
Lyra,
She should be here.
Lyra, you
Where's
got
Lyra?
Lyra.
Wait, where's Lyra?
Fuck.
This is super important. Where's Lyra?
She's not there.
Someone's just gonna turn to Isadora and go like,
Alright, everybody go find her.
Yeah.
Right now. Let's go.
Default patches into the cameras immediately on the ship because she can do that and scans like the past feed and the current feed at the same time to figure out where Lyra went while everybody else is scrambling around.
She's nervously hunched over the control panel of the station's back part
Mm-hmm.
while it is currently printing something
Oh,
that looks like a really, really big.
oh, cool. Default like basically lets.
Do I spot her?
Yeah.
I'm
I-
gonna say, yeah,
I don't
You
think
don't
she's
see-
hidden. She's just not at the meeting.
yeah. You
Mhm.
eventually you
Oh,
be able to just find her.
yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I just made a read a situation roll to guess Lyra's motives, or rather to guess where I would go if I were Lyra. How much insight does that give me?
It's super unusual. That's not. Usually, she's like one of the first people at the meeting, even if she doesn't like them.
Yeah.
So for her to not be there is really weird. If she's not in her training center or in her room, the only other place that she goes is the mech bay. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
Default-
I think we all,
yeah,
I think we
default-
all part of the mech bay then.
Yeah,
So-
default
Yeah.
rushes in. And-
Files in
and
at
and
roughly the
default's-
same time.
Default's actually going to talk first if she can and say, "Hey, Lyra, did you know, just a point of information for you, that this space station has lasers, blasters on it to shoot asteroids away so they don't collide into it? And that if for some reason somebody tried to leave this space station, I could fire those on them? Just something for you to know."
oh yes, I'm aware of that. Like she doesn't even schematic. Oh yes, I'm aware of those. I've been unplugging them all day. I mean, what?
Sylvia
she-
is going to like lurch forward at that statement. Grab Lyra
is
by
she
the
sitting down
throat.
right now or not?
She's hunched
She
up.
she is standing up.
Yeah.
Lyra, you might want to sit down for a sec.
Get on, sit down. I'm too excited. I've taken several steps. I cannot sit down.
Okay.
Lyra, what the hell are you scared of?
So I know, and
Yeah.
point of order, Lyra, is it's no longer only your problem.
What do you mean by that? That is a
So-
strange thing to say about me who's done nothing.
So, as you know, I am your commanding officer, and
That is technically true, yes.
a little while ago, I received an email that I thought was junk, so I ignored it. Turns out it wasn't junk. Turns out it was this. I handed it to her. It's printed on paper.
Because that's what Bryn does now, remember?
Yep. And then today I got this email, which I hand to her. And so now I have to do a fight to the death.
She looks
I guess we all have to do the fight, but I think only I'm the one that's at risk of dying.
She looks over and sort of like fidgeting the whole, and finally looks up and is like, "Well, first of all, it is very rude and also incorrect to say you are a hedonist barbarian.
Yes, I.
For one thing, you are not that hedonistic. It would require you to spend more energy. Second of all, I mean, okay, the other part is fair, but the first part is a little much. You know, you haven't really. Thirdly, I don't know if there was a second, but I have a third point. It's not just you; it's actually all of us now.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And that is why I have disabled the defense laser system, and also the proximity alarm, and several different security systems, and am now per DMX, which I will attempt to flee in. I was not supposed to say that out loud. I've had very many stints. Have I told you that?
Yes.
Sylvia is just going to walk up to Lyra and punch her in the face.
She does
Oh,
not.
hey, hey.
She does not dodge because she is high as balls, and dodging is for blockers. She just like takes it, like goes back on her feet, and then straight up again and says, "It was a 7 out of 10."
Okay, so first of all,
You want the leftist too?
What? Wait, what?
That was my right hook. Do you want the left one too?
Or are we? Or is this a competition? I would love to help you.
Lyra,
What you're saying? Bryn?
we're
Sorry.
fighting.
She's already forgotten that you're there.
Lyra,
She's already
at
looking
this
at
point, you can't run away from this, because if you do, then we're just stuck with it.
No. See, if I am not here, then no one can fight, so they would have to keep going. I tried to
No,
do this
no,
earlier.
not according to the second email. Not according to the second one.
You did earlier.
Oh, wait. Give me that again. And she reads it again, and she just kind of like slumps against the thing and just gives it back to you. Oh, you didn't answer at all, did you?
I didn't know. I didn't even see it. It went to my spam folder. I thought it was some weird email. I ignored it. I didn't even realize.
Oh. I thought that you would answer.
I didn't know it was a thing that I needed to answer at all.
Oh. Well, the good news is it won't be that bad.
I guess the other good news is it's gonna be a while, so our next mission is still on. because it won't happen after that.
It's a whole week. It's a week or 3. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Wait.
So I guess
But-
we gotta tell them what kind of mechs we have, or probably something worse will happen.
Oh yes, very important.
Oh.
Especially if you want to survive, because otherwise they will just assume that you have something really good, and they will bring everything they have.
Oh.
Lyra? Lyra?
It's fair.
Lyra?
Yes.
You're going to help me plug the satellite lasers back in, and you're going to help me clean up your mess.
Oh, I
And
can totally.
you and I are
totally
having
do
a
that.
talk about relying on people.
I think first we're gonna put her in get her in a hot shower so we can sweat out some of the stims.
I'm taking her to my room.
Whoa.
I'll deal with it.
Hot. Mom, why did mom let you have
We're gonna
Yeah.
grab Lyra by the ear and drag her off.
Alice? Why does mom let you have 2 sex scenes?
While she's being led off to the sober, Lyra will conster inanely about. Did you like the vague little details of every bit of the station's security systems, which she has been disabling nonstop for the last 5 hours? Just
So-
one after another, and a blind drug
So
haze.
Isadora, I think you technically have an out on this one because you're not you've been a mister with us, but you haven't ever officially joined us.
Did Isadora ever put that sticker on her mech, Fefner?
She did.
Oh,
So Default actually points out the sticker. Default actually points it out sheepishly.
All right, well, everyone. So I guess we have to fight in a death battle.
Oh, to the death, huh? Default
well-
blanches.
We don't have to kill them, but we are us. We don't want to die. Sorry, I had to tell you like this. I just found out. It was very distressing. So we should probably have an actual strategy meeting about this at some point after Lyra is less hopped up on goofballs, I guess.
Default is sweating. This is a good time to talk to you about the thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Sure.
Bryn, Isadora, let's say...
Mom, Dad, I have to tell you.
Let's say...
They are mom and dad, aren't they?
let's say hypothetically speaking, you had feelings for somebody. But you kept coming off as if it's all about you and not about them and you. How would you go about letting them know different than that? Hypothetically.
So Bryn has never had that problem in his life. I think at this point it's an issue of communication, where you're not both on the same page. Maybe this is a situation in which you need to have a face-to-face talk that isn't a 5-minute phone call, where you can see body language and such. And then just say hey, listen, I'm sorry I did these things. Sorry I came out as this way. I would do this going forward, and you can trust me on that. And I guess just do the thing that caused the problem in the first place less.
Isadora's I don't know, Default. In my eroges, you can be as mean to you as you want, and they'll still have sex with you, so I don't know. But Default looks to Isadora for actual advice.
Isadora, just looking in the middle distance. Why is she coming to me about talking to people?
That is actual advice. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, she wants Isadora's advice, too. That's a good point. I mean, hypothetically, the way communications work here, you could see their picture and their body language, and that's not quite breaching.
I feel if you have to have a real emotional conversation, it's better to do that in person.
She blushes. It would be nice to meet this person in person. Hypothetically. She looks to Isadora. What are any advice from you? You are, have realized, a girl who likes girls.
Yes, but I'm not a people person either.
Well, neither is the person, this hypothetical person.
Oh, she's got you there.
Well,
What would
Bringing
Isadora?
Gremlin's advice
If
to
someone
one.
else had this situation with you, what would make you feel the most comfortable when it was finally addressed?
Thank you, Bryn. Yes, hypothetically.
staring into the middle distance. I probably can't tell her. Just go to my room and wait for it to blow over. Let's see.
It's too late. That time has passed.
Uh,
There,
Well-
try that. Didn't work.
all right. So you said hypothetically, it's not easy to just meet them, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. So in that
Oh,
case,
I got it.
hmm,
We got that battle simulator. That's
I-
VR. Make a VR space. In VR.
An e-girl. I love it. Would she hypothetically even know how to use one of those things?
I mean, hypothetically, you're a streamer who could talk her through that sort of thing.
Hypothetically, yeah. What a good hypothetical conversation. Sorry.
And hypothetically, she's around your age, so she doesn't have the old person inept at technology thing, right?
Yeah, not like Bryn, no. Hypothetically.
Excuse me. I know. I'm like 36.
It's just, I was thinking, hypothetically, she doesn't like the way I am, or what used to be on my streams, hypothetically, because of my persona and how egotistical I was. So I was thinking this upcoming mission, I would lose on purpose to show her I don't give a fuck about.
No, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea. Instead of doing that, why not just not put on the persona while you're doing the normal things you do?
Default looks torn. You no, the persona is necessary for something bigger than this crush I have on a girl. She's dropped the hypothetically at this point.
Yeah, but listen, getting wrecked on purpose is just another misdirection. Just a different
Yeah,
kind.
look, I know you must have seen A Knight's Tale, that historical documentation, but I don't think that's gonna be the solution here. So, the thing is, if you can't drop the persona, even in privates, then it's not going to work out. It's the source of the miscommunication. Therefore, if you keep relying on it, things are only going to get worse.
Yeah, you really have to decide who you want to be in this public face, and if it's incompatible with this, then you have to admit to yourself that it's not going to work out.
Okay, look, I can drop the persona in private with her, and I can even make all our conversations completely private, but she can't.
Yes, another streamer must be. Clearly.
Default sighs and like slumps and says, it's Kovanen. You both fucking know it's Kovanen. And Deliverance is watching her all the time, listening to every conversation she has, every email she sends, every website she checks. She's constantly scrutinized, and people like her aren't good at being constantly scrutinized.
Well,
So, essentially, you're in very similar boats, just in different importances. Because you need to put on a face as a streamer, and she needs to put on a face for her regime.
But the stakes for her are higher.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
her stakes are higher, and you don't know my stakes. I guess I should show them to you. And so you haven't watched the pilot logs yet, Jeff, but I think Fefner has. She shows you the spreadsheets of the wealth inequality in the galaxy and how she's worked it all out to seize the means from basically start a revolution, a chain like a chain of uprisings throughout the galaxy using her persona to overthrow the ruling class, drag them kicking and screaming out of their messes, and
so
redistribute the wealth.
So Bryn looks at this. He actually looks really hard at it and like, can I make a roll to see if this is actually like a feasible thing that could happen, or
Go
is
for
this
it.
just like the crazy rantings of a 16-year-old girl?
Go ahead. I guess I'll read a situation.
Let me look at this stuff.
This is just a skill check, so what do you
I
got?
don't have that. I use empathy. I have
You
that.
have empathy. Oh,
17.
nice. A 17. Theoretically, historically, revolutionaries of the past have been able, like Robespierre, Castro, have been able to rally the people through an icon. Right.
Know this. Thank you.
So theoretically, through a modern streamer persona, it could technically happen. Theoretically.
So TFO.
Overture's history. I should probably send you a few textbooks on Cradle's history as well. Union itself has had a fair few revolutions, but
I'm not saying that your aspirations are misguided, but you may be setting the bar for yourself a little higher than is realistic at this point in your life.
Oh, I'm not just setting the bar for me. I'm setting the bar for them. Default looks back to you and says, I already said this to Sylvia. She already knows about this. But we can pull this off. We can pull this off. No more child soldiers like her. No more spoiled idiot girls like me who don't know what they're fucking doing and keep hurting the people they love. No more of this! And I should have noticed sooner.
Sure, but what I'm really saying is sometimes it's better to have more like short-term, achievable, actionable goals than the systemic overflow of I guess all the governments in the sector. Or just the one, I guess. It's just like you gotta be realistic sometimes. Is all.
Default.
What can you do now?
Default is a teenager, right? So she's like
Yes,
just
she's a
like
16-year-old girl.
she's like
Everything is the biggest thing.
yeah,
I
and she's picked up a biggest of biggest things, right? For dumb good reasons, but dumb emotional reasons as well. So she blinks at like this harsh reality of these things like change doesn't happen overnight, right? And
yes, and the thing is too is like I would say, well, let's just get her out of there, but I don't think that's what she wants because she's doing things from within there to.
Bryn, if I could convince her to sneak out, is there a place for her here?
I mean, sure, we got rooms.
Then that's
But is that what she wants? Is the thing. And if it's not default, you have to respect that she's made that decision.
If it's
right.
not what she wants, then she doesn't want me, does she?
You can't. No, those two facts aren't necessarily related at all. You can't conflate the two.
You're talking to a 16-year-old girl.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm saying this.
Default, if I were to tell you you had to choose between your plan and Kovanen, what would your response be? What would you choose?
My plan saves her, so I pick my plan. How is Deliverance saving anything?
Well, I mean,
Dude,
I
not well.
have that
That's
answer
why
there.
she's working. That's why she's actively working against him right now, in her position.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Kovanen might also just be doing what she thinks is right for you.
Default sucks in a breath. That's what's happening, isn't it? We're just both doing what we think is best for the other, and they're not compatible. She crosses
Oh,
her
they're-
arms over her chest and like puts on her big thinking face, right?
now
Eh,
listen,
They're not
Default.
necessarily incompatible, but again, I should link you to Union's history. It's complex and full of bloody revolutions. That's what the kids these days like, right?
I mean, no one likes a bloody. Well, I guess. But
Certain people like bloody revolutions,
yes,
but Kovanen doesn't.
looks directly at the camera.
Mm-hmm. But Kovanen doesn't. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a big fan of it either. But
What I guess my point here really is there's two things here. There's one that you got a crush on this girl who's in, for the most part, a very similar situation to you. It's someone who you feel you have that common. On the other hand, there is the overarching political problems of the entire galaxy, which you can't address. No one can. Not one person. So all I'm saying is maybe smaller, more achievable goals.
but the,
Maybe you can look at what you have access to and think about, well, how can I actually help her in a way that she would appreciate, as
default
opposed to the way I think she needs.
Yeah, default grunts and says, I'll look into it, shoot me some advice, I guess. I know about things like mutual aid networks, things of that nature. I've done my research. I've started setting that up through this persona of mine. I've been doing those small incremental little things, and all of it will build up, I hope, to this ultimate end, right?
Well, I mean, I meant more like concrete. Like, what does she specifically need that you could do for her?
She needs a friend, like an actual friend. I don't even.
I mean, yes, but like, what would she tell you if you asked her? I guess
She would-
if you could.
I don't know. I guess I'll ask her eventually. I don't know. Thank you both for this advice. She looks to you and then, like, grumbles and says,
And one other thing, default, like, I don't want to like rain on no one's parade here about anything, but if your dad found out that you're fomenting a violent revolution, he would come here, he would take you back, and he would kill me, like, just straight up, just like with a gun, just shoot me in the head. I'm not even joking about this. So just like, just think about that a little bit, maybe.
Default gulps, like, and she goes very pale at that because Svava sent her Vadim's dossier in the last pilot log I did between them, and Default has been reading it, and she knows you're right. And she says, I guess... No, I don't guess. I know that sometimes people aren't the person they show you they are. And I haven't been showing my fans who I am, and I haven't been showing Kovanen who I am either. And that plan of mine to just lose, that was an idea I had for how to begin doing that. So I'll
What
think.
if, I mean, you just be more real in general. You don't gotta. Here's the other advice, Gathmonia. You don't have to make everything you do into content. Jeff
Yeah.
says he looks directly across the internet at Jenner.
I guess not. I mean, that was the thing that got her to start calling me. Sylvia took a video of me doing things when I couldn't take video, and now she's being different. A good kind of different, but also a painful kind of different. So maybe you're onto something there.
And maybe you can meet in the middle to a certain extent. Obviously, Kovanen can't be seen talking to a revolutionary, but if they still just think she's talking to defaults, then I can't see how much harm would come from that.
For now, I'm gonna do both at once. I'm gonna look at the stuff that you all are gonna send me. I'm gonna try and figure out how to do this smaller scale. That eventually, I want these ends. I think a lot of people do, but you're right. I can't just do it this way. I can't make it happen this way. In the interim, I'm just gonna talk to her like a normal person. Have normal conversations about normal things, like, I don't know, clothes, food, music, video games. You know, treat her like a normal human being. I bet people haven't done that with her for years.
I think yes, but if you do that, you especially need to like do it through non-official channels, because doing it otherwise frames it as a thing that she has to, you know, do act a certain way about. So
Yeah.
honestly, if you could meet her in person, you can't record, you can't like intercept a person talking to person in person, right?
Yeah, well, let's figure
There's
out.
no records.
Well, I was thinking about going through like a proxy, like sending messages through Svava, who has direct contact with her, until we can get her to figure out how to do this VR thing that you're talking about, and maybe we can make that secure enough that we can have more
We're
real
just-
conversations.
Well, I mean, maybe we need to have a training exercise with some of our employers at some point.
Maybe. Thank you for the help. Is Lyra gonna be okay?
She'll be fine. She just needs to sober up a little bit. I think she's been running away from her past for a while, and I guess partially due to my inattentiveness, now that's not an option anymore.
Don't.
Which maybe it's for the best. You know, we're all competent. We're all capable pilots. I think we'll be fine.
Well, Brendan, don't blame yourself first.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, it could happen to anybody. But
Yeah.
at this point, like, what's done is done.
Right.
So we gotta just deal with the reality that's set in front of us.
Right, we'll get through this just like we've gotten through everything. What are they gonna do? Throw more fucking bleak horrors at us? I say bring it on.
I think this is more like some sort of like official like judicial feud,
What
like,
are they,
like duel.
what are they gonna do? Give the main characters a giant laser? Who does that?
I mean, I have a giant laser,
So do the main characters now?
but no, I don't think it wouldn't be mercenaries. This is like an honor thing. I think
Right.
I don't really get it. I'm not part of that culture. But I'm sure it'll get explained to us in detail when it happens.
I guess
Or it won't, and we'll have to react, which is usually what happens.
maybe this will change it. Maybe this will be the reason why she's being this way. I've, roundabout let her know how I feel, and she's never really responded very well to it.
Well, usually it's because you've been talking to her through like their
Yeah,
their
maybe
channels,
if
she can't talk
she can,
normally.
maybe she actually, she kind of flirted with me a bit, maybe, I think.
What if you read her like an actual letter, like on paper?
I think it would get read.
We can probably get someone that's. But we would like get a courier. We wouldn't like get like the mail.
We'll get a letter to Svava, and then Svava will take it Kovanen, and Kovanen will read it and then eat it. I like this.
Well, means you can burn it.
Yeah.
To eat it.
Default laughs and says, "Thank you both. We'll talk more about this later, Isadora." And Default slides out and says, "I'm gonna go listen in on Sylvia and Lyra's conversation and learn what sex is." I say out of character.
Bryn's gonna go. What was Lyra printing? Her new mech.
She was, yes.
Bryn's gonna go finish that
Mhm.
because it might as well be done.
It is a Barbados, for the record. It
Oh,
has
yeah.
a giant gun that is
Isn't it a size
incredibly.
3?
Yes. It's about the biggest thing that we can make.
Yeah,
I
Jeff.
think it's like one of those we have to make it in pieces and put together.
Yeah. She's been actively assembling it. in a drug haze.
Well, we should probably check this over.
Jeff, out of character, we're gonna need the mask for size 3 pogs.
I will make it.
Nice, thank you.
Does anyone want Lyra and I to play out that conversation scene, or do we want to like fade to black there and do the
I
level
want
up?
to see what happened with that
You'll
nonsense.
You do?
Isadora
Alice,
just
are you okay
over.
doing a quick little thing with that?
Isadora just goes over back to Coriander because dealing with just a simple AI is a lot easier.
Yeah. Alice, did you want to do a thing with that, or are you like...
It's then up to you. You're the one who turned.
That's fair.
I mean, it doesn't have to be erotic. It doesn't have to.
I mean, I assume that she's just like gonna throw.
yeah, I assume it's like throw you like in a
that is
cold shower.
exactly what is happening. When Default leans in to listen, it's gonna be one of those classic cartoon moments where it sounds vaguely like there might be something going on in there. What's actually happening is Sylvia is forcing Lyra into her little in-court shower and just cold showering her until she's sober, and then pulling her out and shaking her vigorously until she starts coming around. Just like, and finally, like, once she's like satisfied with her like being sobered up, she's going to slap her in the face, like, and then just like give her this like really big crushing hug.
I do not know why this has happened, but I think I'm okay with it.
And so it just goes like, "You're one of us now. Just only one of us has to be running off on her own, getting everyone else in danger. Just trust the rest of us to help. I know I'm not setting a good example, but just do it."
Okay, I think. Can I lay it down now?
Bed's over there. Just you can cuddle Tank if you need to. Just,
Aw.
You named it Tank. She's gonna go find Tank. She's very excited about this.
Yeah. What would you have named it?
She doesn't hear you anymore. She only cares about Tank. Tank is the only thing that matters.
Sylvia just like for a minute of that, Sylvia just kind of like lets her sit, and she just goes like, "You know what? Fuck it. It's been a long day." Takes off her hard suit and just next to the bed and just lays down with her and fade to black on that.
Nice. Default gets installed, like caught up by somebody to keep her from learning what sex is. She doesn't make it to the door. Somebody. Good. Aw, I appreciate that. Still, she is stopped just in case by something. I don't know, an NPC grabs her and stops her. Anyway.
God reaches down and tells Default that she will not learn what is not to be known.
All right. Is there anything more? We should do our level ups, but then is there anything more before we do that?
I think I'm good on roleplay.
Okay.
I'm good.
Thank
Yep.
you. All right. I guess I'll start. I took up rank in Kobold. This already happened. It was alluded to. Default did a stream basically as soon as she came back from the mission, where she put on her public persona and said, "Well, somebody paid for me to go into Kobold, so I'm doing Kobold. Hooray!" Right? And you know, yay! And we love to see the Kobold, different kind of play style than I'm used to, but I'll figure out how to make it work. Wink. So I took a rank in Kobold for completely narrative reasons, and I'm gonna pilot a Kobold for completely narrative reasons, and I'm gonna get my shit handed to me because Kobolds aren't designed for the kind of way I do things with Default. But that's neither here nor there. So I took a point in Kobold. I will keep investing in Kobold afterwards. I put a point in Invent Create on my level up so that I could do this thing to make the system for Kovanen to talk to Default without Deliverance knowing she's talking to Default, and look at the information Default has from Old Earth without Deliverance knowing she's looking at the information and getting their hands on that information, etc., etc., etc. I put a point in the final point, I think it was in Juggernaut, so Default can start ramming things, because that's going to be really fun to do in a Kobold. It's not designed for that, which has like 4 hit points. That's about it for my level up that I can recall. So yeah. Next person.
Alright, so I've already mentioned I got the Technophile talent. I got a +2 to stay cool. I used that while drinking today. And of course, true to the I need to hack better, I took a +1 in systems. And the license I took is the Swallowtail, rank 2. So I got the frame. I got a new LMG, which is basically just, it's got accuracy, it's arcing, range 15, 1d3 damage. I also got retractable profile, but I'll probably never use that, especially outside of Swallowtail itself. It's basically just sniper mode, better range, decreased mobility. And that's not usually how I play. But yeah, now that I have that, I've just got a new mech that probably won't be seen immediately. I'll probably keep using Moonriver for now, but yeah. The Goldenrod is a mech I can use now because I've got the Swallowtail. And yeah, since I'm not going to be using that, I think we'll leave off there for now.
Alright. Alex, do you want to go next or should I?
I got a Barbados. I have the same weapons. It has a Apocalypse Rail. It is stupidly good.
Alex, explain the Apocalypse Rail.
It's so good.
Okay, so the Apocalypse Rail works on when I first charge it up. I get an Apocalypse die, which is a D6, and it starts on a 4, and that is me charging it. And at the start of each my turn, I lower the value of the dice by 1 to a minimum of 1. If I move, become stunned or jammed, the Apocalypse die resets to 4 and then goes back to normal. On a 4, I cannot shoot. On a 3, it is a 20 range 2d6 weapon with a blast of 2. On a 3, on a 2, it's a 3d6 with 25 range, and on a 1, it's a 4d6 weapon, blast to range 30.
That's an integrated mount too.
Oh, also, by the way, on a 1, all objects in terrain in the area of that blast, which is very large, takes 100 armor-piercing explosive damage.
So that
Yeah.
just erases terrain.
I erase terrain, and everything that gets hit within that blast gets stunned until their next turn. As soon as they are hit, everything is just a crater.
Yeah, so
It is-
basically...
Oh, and it's also on fire. If you move there or stay there, you take 4 burn.
Yeah, previous effects, or previous, like, dice levels also have effects. Like, I think on a 3, there's, like, a smoke cloud along the attack range that you can use for soft cover or something like that.
Yes. On a 3, the impact zone gets sets up a smoke cloud and becomes soft cover. On a 2, it creates a burning storm that I forget if it deals a condition or deals damage if you start your turn in it.
It
but
deals burn.
Yeah, on 2 or lower, people who start their turn or move through that terrain take burn because the cloud becomes superheated. It is a ship-to-ship weapon.
Yeah, so Apocalypse Rail, very painful, built to just obliterate everything.
Apocalypse.
And I'd just like to make note that 1 PC has it and 2 NPCs have it as well, because it's just a big fucking mech that blows shit up.
Yup.
That is something General Argento has, and also Spava.
Mm-hmm. Svava has it because she is the giant rat. And if you're a giant rat, you get a giant mech.
Make all the rules.
Mm-hmm.
You're a giant rat. That means you have giant guts. I mean, get to make all the rules.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I changed out my stuff a little bit. I dumped my Tokugawa licenses. I placed one of them with Napoleon 1 to keep my core bonus for Paris Armory, and I took 2 in Swallowtail, which Fafnir also has.
Yep.
Only for the rifle, the flex mount rifle. That's I can put 2 in one mount because
Yep.
I took crack shot. I dumped when I wasn't using. I took 3 ranks of crack shot, so I get lots of stuff for rifles, and I have all rifles now.
Nice.
Also, from the Napoleon, I have the ability to just negate an attack if I roll good. And I can also put some in timeout and just freeze them in time, and then nothing can affect them for a whole round. Like, literally nothing. They can't shoot, they can't be interacted with, they cannot be, like, harmed in any way. So it's a way to say, you know what, we need to put a pause on you for a while. And that's it. Otherwise, I'm going back to the Sherman, back to where I started.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess not started. Also, those rifles I got from Swallowtail, they arc and they take system points to do because they are accurate and they're very good. And just like I guess I just shoot a bullet in the air and it goes wherever it needs to.
Yeah, speaking of accurate things, I'm not gonna talk about my entire loadout. However, I am putting some Nexuses into my attacks because Nexuses are actually pretty useful because they actually target E defense. So like, boy, you're gonna see a lot of that soon.
Oh boy.
Everyone has bad E defense, including me. Moonriver's got fucking 11 E defense.
That's significantly better than basically every other mech that we have, though.
So yeah, against NPCs as well, it should be pretty good.
Nice. Who hasn't gone yet? It's like me and Jenner, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to go first?
Jenner went.
I already
Jenner
went. Yeah. I think.
Jenner, you already went. Oh, so it is just me then. Okay, never mind. All right. So Sylvia has been doing a lot of not staying cool lately, so she no longer has that skill trigger.
Oh, no!
She has cheeked someone out at +4. She got 2 of that from the level up and 1 of that from dumping her stay cool into it. That is the skill trigger for disabling someone quickly and quietly. Which hopefully won't come up too much more often, but might. I have been doing a lot of crime lately.
So much crime.
So much crime. On that note, for skill triggers, she just took the 3rd round of Duelist. So now, once a round, when she hits with a melee action on her turn, she can spend a Blade Master die to immediately grapple or ram the target as a free action after the attack has been resolved. So that's gonna be real good for just like bopping people over and letting her beat the ever-loving, bejesus out of them while they're on the ground. In terms of mech licenses, Sylvia picked up the 2nd rank of Metal Mark. So now she has the Metal Mark frame, and for the next couple of missions, she will probably be going back and forth between the Queen Grace and her new mech, the Field Fox, which is a Metal Mark. It has a little bit less HP than her old mech, but significantly better evasion. It's 14 right now. The only person who is better at avoiding damage on our entire team is Theft. Whereas mech has like 18 from like everything.
Yeah.
This is about the best evasion you can have and also do damage. It has a bunch of really neat features. It's got a flash cloak, so it is invisible when it moves, reappears when stationary. When it is in soft cover, ranged attackers receive +2 difficulty instead of +1. And its core ability is the Tactical Cloak, which just, once it's burned, says, you are invisible for the rest of the scene. So, that's neat.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Now, the downside is the mounts on it are a little bit different than the Blackbeard. So Sylvia no longer has the cool Threat 3 lance. She will have to Overwatch at Threat 2, but to be fair, that's basically what she was doing already. She did pick up the Shock Knives, though, which are really shitty weapons. They only deal 1 energy damage, they're thrown 5, they reheat oneself. They would be completely unremarkable except they do 2 burn. They just do 2 burn on my head. Take 2 burn.
Nice. Love
Gonna be
it.
so much burn.
So much burn. There will be... Sylvia and Bryn finally have, like, a double tech. Is that the Chrono Trigger thing? Double
Yep.
tech?
Duotex.
Thank you. We finally did it. We have it. And yeah, that's... At the moment, that's basically all she's picked up. She's probably taking the 3rd license in that for her next level up, which will be more exciting because that will hopefully coincide with a story beat for her. And yeah, that's everything I had.
All right, is that everything? I think, yeah.
Yep.
All right, then I think we're good for tonight. All right, so goodbye, everybody.
So long,
Bye.
and good night.